everyone, it's Sharona from Para Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing Killing Eve Season 3, Episode 4, Still Got It. Y'all, my mind is still blown, okay? I am still in shock for what happened in tonight's episode. I was just like, wow, so you're just not going to come up off my neck from all of these people we keep losing this season. So I actually really enjoyed the format that they have with this week's episode. Typically, they always show us kind of like what country they're in or, or what city that we're in. But we see that we really follow the characters as a whole throughout the course of this episode. So I'm going to stick to how the episode was. So we first start off with Nico. I was like, hey, Nico, it's nice to see you. You seem like you're really having a great time. Nico decided to go back home to Poland after he got out of that he was in a psych ward, or it was like a really rehabilitation type of place. He was recovering from the PTSD for all the mess that Villanelle did to him, killing his co-worker in front of him. It was just a lot that he's been through, you guys. Like, I was just like, you know what, Nico, you needed a break. I understand. And so we see that while he's back home, he's up here flirting with the bartender, living his best life. We see that he is at the bar, and we see that he gets a text from Eve, like, are you going to talk to me? What's happening? And we can tell that someone's kind of like watching him. We just don't know who it is. I was like, is it Villanelle? Like, what is happening right now? But we quickly go to Eve, and we see that she's sleeping on the couch at Kenny's office. R.I.P. Kenny, I still miss you. So I was like, can I get a sleeping bag like that? Because I couldn't tell. Did the sleeping bag go into the wall? Did she put it behind the couch? I'm not sure, but I was just like, I need something like that for my couch, because I sleep on my couch too. But I've been sleeping in my bed lately. I slept in my bed twice last week. That's progress for me. So we see that she's getting ready in the bathroom. She's still afraid because at the end of last week's episode, we saw that Villanelle left the teddy bear for her at her place, which freaked her out. So she is sleeping at the office. And I was just like, so you're not going to take no shower? You can get a gym membership and go take a shower at the gym or something. But she's getting ready in the bathroom at the office, and she keeps smelling herself. Like, ma'am, if you're smelling yourself, then you probably need to go take a shower. So she tries to take a quick whole bath. I don't know if y'all never heard what whole bath is. Whole bath is when you don't take a full shower. You just wash the important parts, but you're not really cleansing yourself the right way. That is the definition of a whole bath. So, not that I'm saying that she a hoe. I'm just saying that's what my family always called it, a whole bath, in reference to my brother, who we did call a hoe, but that's like a whole totally different story. I'm sorry. I just went down like the wrong. Okay, I'm back on track. So we see that she gets a text from Nico and saying that, like, hey, if you want to talk, I'm listening. And I was like, okay. I was like, wow, that's good. But we see that she stares in the mirror. She's looking at her face, the bruise healing up from her reunion with Villanelle last week's episode on the bus. We see that Kenny's ex-widow boo thing, because like she is like a widow boo thing because she was his boo thing and he got killed. I'm just gonna call her his widow. And so she's in the bathroom looking at her crazy, and I'm like, girl, I feel you too, because I really don't understand why my girl can't go take a shower somewhere. And so then she's working with one of his coworkers, who she is basically sitting in his chair eating his cereal. I was like, wow, I thought that was your cereal at least. You just gonna eat my man's snacks and stuff, and then you all sitting up here all stank in his chair. And even he was like, what is that smell? And I was like, right, please describe it to me, because I can tell she stink. She kept smelling herself the entire time, smelling her hair. So we see that she ends up getting a gift. It's a cake. And I was like, oh, it's her birthday. Happy birthday, Eve. And so she gets excited, because I'm assuming that she's thinking it's from Nico, since she just got the text and this is her birthday. But she then realizes it's probably from Villanelle crazy behind. And then she runs upstairs with the cake. Then ends up, she opens the box. She sees it's a bus that says Happy Birthday, Eve. I bet it's commemorating their reunion that they had on the bus. And then she threw the cake off the roof. I was like, girl, I don't think she poisoned you. Like, you could at least get the cake, like he said, share it with everybody in the office at this point, since she was eating my food earlier. And then we see Paul has a conversation with her, and he's just like, hey, you can't just sleep in the office, girl. You got to go somewhere else. So Paul ends up taking her to his house. And then she says, oh, I didn't know you had dependents. And I was like, Eve, who says dependents? You could just say kids. And then we see that he totally avoids the question, which I want to learn a little bit more about Paul. It seems like he has a lot that's going on with him. They were kind of going back and forth on who's the most self-loathing person in the room. And I was like, dang, you gave somebody drugs? You gave your friend drugs that he died from? What? It was a lot. Even Eve had to take a step back, like, I thought my life was messed up, but sir, what happened? I need to learn more about this story. But We see that she ends up getting a picture from Nico while she's laying in bed, and then he asks her if she's serious about talking, and then we see that while she's meeting in the office that she ends up going to Poland to go visit him, and I don't think that I'm really ready to talk about that yet, so we're just going to say that towards the end of the episode. But we saw that during the conversation between Eve and Paul that he tells her that you always have a choice. Like, it's about the choices that we make. And so we see that she's really trying to make the difference with Nico, and she wants to go all the way and show that she's all the way in. But we see during the course of the conversation that her, Paul, and the coworker that I can't ever remember his name, they're having this discussion in regards to some of the photos they've seen as they're kind of tracking to figure out like who's behind this account. And they see Dasha's murder that we see in the season 3 premiere at the beginning of the season, and we see how it looks exactly like Villanelle's murder that she did in the season 3 premiere. So we know that it's kind of the same people and they're kind of a copycat, but she doesn't necessarily know who is actually behind the murders at this point in time. So we see Konstantin. In the episode, Konstantin goes to see his daughter. She called him a son of a whore. She read him for filth. She was like, you work for yourself. You only care about yourself. You're working for all these different agencies, working for the 12, working for MI6, working for all these people. But at the end of the day, you only care about yourself and what is going to happen to me when you end up dead, which she really is foreshadowing what's going to happen with him, because you can't have your cake and eat it too. And it seems that's what Konstantin has been doing for quite some time. So we see that he's trying to investigate what happened to his friend Charles, who was killed by Villanelle, which he knows. But we see that he goes to talk to his wife, and his wife tells him about an email that she was supposed to send in the case of Charles's murder, but she tells him that she hasn't sent it. He asks her to give it to her. And then we see that he ends up going to find Villanelle, which I thought was ironic because he like scared her. And then she was like, why do you have to be so dramatic? And I said, Villanelle, as many times you done gave this man a heart attack, just last week you snuck in this man's bed and gave him a heart attack. What are you talking about? If this ain't the pot of calling the kettle black, I don't understand. So he asks her to go do a job. He tells her, I assume we end up finding out that it is about his, we end up finding out that it is about killing Charles's wife, I guess tying up loose ends. So he told her to go to their holiday house to just kind of get away, and he would help her leave and make sure that she's protected. And so we see that she ends up going, like he tells her to make it like kind and quick. And then she was like, which one do you want? Do you want like kind? Or no, he said kind is efficient. She's like efficient. She's like, but which one? Kind or efficient? I can't do both. So we see that she ends up going to the holiday house. She's like cutting these roses, and then the lady comes out like, no, don't do that. That was my husband's favorite. She started crying on Villanelle. Villanelle looking crazy. She got the hiccups this entire episode. And then we see that she ends up, the lady scares her. She like screams at her to try to help her with her hiccups. And then Villanelle looked back like, what is going on? And so they end up playing this like chasing game. Like for some reason, this lady thinks it is absolutely hilarious that Villanelle wants her to keep scaring her so she get rid of her hiccups. Then they start chasing each other. They running all around the house and stuff and end up in a greenhouse. And then Villanelle ends up choking this lady with the water hose. But I was like, you know, at the end of the day, at least the lady got a laugh in before she got killed. So like it was kind, like she was actually smiling and happy. And then she made it quick. Like, and she was efficient. She used a water hose, like nothing, no blood, no nothing. It was good. So we know that Konstantin basically bribed her, saying that he would give her more information on her family if he basically gave, if she ended up doing the kill for him. And so we see that Villanelle, she knows that it's Eve's birthday. She made a birthday cake of her own, which looked like trash. Even Dasha was like, girl, this looks terrible. And then she was like, you should just throw it away. And then she's like, wait, let me see if it at least tastes good real quick. And then she was like, nah. Throw that mess away. And I was like, dang, Dasha, like, at least she tried to make the cake of her own in the first place. I was like, just give her some credit. And so Dasha's basically getting on her and saying, like, hey, you need to just sit here, be quiet, don't get into any trouble. Like, the 12 want to meet with you about your promotion. Just stay good, okay? Just be good and we won't have no problems. But we see that she ends up telling her that Konstantin came to see him, and that essentially she ends up doing what he asked her to do, and then he gives her the information on her family, and then she ends up at the end of the episode, we see home go across the screen, and we know that she's going back to kind of like where she's from, which I'm very interested to see what her family is like, because I don't know if they're going to be just like Villanelle or they're going to be the complete opposite. I know that whatever it is, when she finds them, is going to be hilarious. And I can't wait to see it. I'm really interested for that storyline of her really trying to understand where she comes from, like who she is, who is her family, like really trying to figure out what her actual identity is. And I actually like that. And also too with Konstantin and his relationship with his daughter, trying to get back to her. You can tell that he does care about his daughter, but he is in way too deep with all of these different agencies. And I really do believe that is going to end up in his death. And I'm really just concerned for how that is going to affect his daughter, who really wants to be with her father, because she don't like her mama boyfriend and stuff. She's just like, I don't want to be with them. I want to be with you. So I thought that was really heartbreaking, even though his daughter is disrespectful as hell. But how would you expect someone's kid to act if they had Konstantin as a father? I think she turned out very well given the circumstances. But before I can even get into like what happened at the end of the episode, it's still too much. We got to talk about Carolyn. And so I was like shook at first because I was like, where are these frog noises? I was like, is there a frog in my house? And then I realized like it's her. She has these frog noises that she plays to go to sleep. And Carolyn still isn't doing well after Kenny's death. She's trying to investigate what's happening. She's not communicating with her daughter, even though I think her daughter has something up, man, because her daughter just, I don't know if she's working for Konstantin, if she's Konstantin's boss. I don't know what is happening. But she's trying to get information from her mother, and she even stages this like fake crying thing. She had brunch with Raggedy Paul first, so this is the other Paul, her boss. And so he's like, I'm so concerned. We almost lost you. Like, tell me what you need. I want to be helpful to you. And she's like, well, I need my office first and foremost. But he was like, ma'am, you just said that you didn't even know where your office was. Why you need your office? Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. My throat is dry. So she ends up asking for it. She's like, I don't know where it is, but I do know that I want it back. And so after she's having this brunch with Paul, she sees Konstantin leaving her house. And so when she goes in, she asks her daughter, after her daughter tries to fake cry, do whatever she's trying to do, asks her mom to open up with her. She was like, have you had any visitors? Like, what have you been doing here all day? Her daughter laughs and says it's somebody from university stopped by, but she knows she's not telling the truth. I don't know what the heck is happening. And then we see that she ends up going upstairs. We see that she just puts the pillow over her face, hits the frog noises. Carolyn just having a tough time dealing with Kitty's death. I don't know when she's going to actually deal with it and like let it out. It seems that she's been trying to contain it as much as she possibly can, but you can clearly tell that she is acting differently, but she is trying to pursue the information to figure out what happened to her son. But Dasha gets a visitor by a woman who's obviously her boss, and then she asks her, like, why is Villanelle running around London still trying to find Eve? Like, I thought we dead at this. And so she needs to get Villanelle doing what they need her to do if she wants to go back home to Russia. And so Dasha was like, well, I can kill Eve if you need me to. And she was like, no, that would cause way too many issues. So I don't know what the connection is or why, because I'm assuming the lady works for the 12, why they still want Eve alive, or maybe that's just the agreement they made with MI6. I'm not sure. But we see that she tells her to drive a wedge between Eve and Villanelle. And so we see that Dasha goes to see Nico in Poland. So we end up finding out that it was Dasha is the one who was watching him. She sent the message. So I was like, from Nico's phone saying that he wanted to talk to her, sent the picture. So I was like, okay, well, maybe she wants them to get back together. So then, you know, this will make Villanelle not want to be with her. But we see that Konstantin actually ended up telling Villanelle that they're not together and that, you know, Nico's alive. He's in Poland, which I didn't understand why he told her that. Or maybe he's in on the whole thing with Dasha and the 12. I don't know. But we see that Dasha, she stages this whole thing to have Eve come to see Nico fixing the barn. And so we see that she writes on this note saying, still got it. And she ties it to the pitchfork. And I'm like, what is she doing right now? I'm just so confused. And so I lost it when she says like, hey, Nico, and he waves. She stabs Nico in the dang on throat with the pitchfork. Villanelle just standing there shook. I'm looking shook. Dasha just being evil, probably just stared at him like happy her plan is going through. And she left the note to make it seem as though Villanelle was the one who actually killed Nico, even though Villanelle knew that if she killed Nico, she would lose Eve forever. And so clearly this is the only way that Dasha knew how to really start drive this wedge between the both of them. But I was just like, we just got Nico back this episode. You mean to tell me you brought this man back just to kill him? What? I am shook. Wow, like they are not like taking it easy with these shocks and surprises. I was not prepared to lose somebody else this quickly, but I was like, dang, we didn't even get to see them talk. Then I was wondering why Eve didn't like run to go help him, save him, something. I was just like, you just gonna stand there? So I don't know what the heck is gonna happen, but clearly Eve is gonna be out for blood with Villanelle once this is over. I just don't know how they can come back for this. I don't know what's gonna happen to Dasha once Villanelle realizes what she did in the first place. I am just shocked. I'm just like, wow, this was a good episode, because I just thought they were just catching us up with everyone, and then this happens at the end. I was just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I really enjoyed tonight's episode of Killing Eve. I thought this is a really good episode. I just really want to know what the heck is going to happen when Eve finds out oh my goodness. I just can't. I need to go ahead and just watch next week's episode, because normally I try to wait with everybody, but I'm going to have to watch this because I need answers. I need to know what's going to happen. But those are pretty much my thoughts on Killing Eve season 3, episode 4. Still got it. Dasha still got me, guys. As always, my name is Sharona from Payroll Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.